I don't care.
Yo, guys, we're back in it. Hey, welcome back to Tech Lehman Podcast
Welcome
V2.
back.
Where everything was fine and nothing got changed.
Hello, guys. This is the Tech Lehman Podcast, The Bean.
This bullshit.
It's called The Bean.
That's
We
garbage.
read beans.
That's
We talk beans.
That's trash. We have to introduce. It's a very special episode because we've got our very first special guest.
A bean and of itself, you know?
Oh.
You're a bean.
Sweet. What kind of bean?
Tyler White, everybody.
If I were a this is a friendship question. If I were a jelly bean, what flavor would you
Fart.
think I'd be? Fart?
Yeah.
That's not
Puke.
a jelly bean flavor.
Yeah, it is.
It's a birdie.
The, like, nasty ones?
Mm-hmm. He is nasty.
That's a birdie bots.
Let's get back into this.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Y'all guys. Wow, Texas just came out.
Y'all guys.
Y'all guys.
Galley's now wearing a 10-gallon hat and like carrying a
It
revolver.
hurts in my head.
Oh!
Allie.
State law to
My
have
name gets
one with
different
you.
in Texas.
Allie.
No matter where you go, it's a little bit different.
A
Funny
little
thing
bit.
is, when I moved here, they
Allie.
handed me a hat and a gun right at the border.
Yeah.
Welcome to Texas.
And it was given to you by a horse,
Oh,
which was the
talking
weirdest.
I still have my first gun that I got. You know,
Oh, what
when I
was
was
it?
born.
When I was,
They put it right in your hand.
They put it in the little nursery with you,
Yeah,
like you're in like the little incubator.
It's a little hand-sized one for a little baby.
Hell
Like, I
yeah.
can barely reach a little trigger. It's so
As
cute.
dangerous as that is, that's adorable.
I just see a bunch of babies in like those little nursery homes, and you just
Wearing cowboy boots.
wearing cowboy boots and holding like onto guns, like cuddling with guns.
One of them's got a baby horse right next to it.
It's like Hercules. Oh, I love it.
They're dressed like the yodeling kid from Walmart.
So blackers.
It's like mean.
Oh wait, yeah, okay. So what's happened here is we both saw very important movies,
This past week, yeah.
You saw-
I saw Infinity War.
and Tyler and I saw the much more, I'd say, relevant, socially,
Way more hyped.
way more.
Most hyped movie of the century.
I'm just gonna say it. Oscar pick right here.
Same though. Same
Yeah,
though.
Put up a little bling sound. Like
I
let's-
can't believe
we're
my
doing Oscar
decisions.
picks.
You know, I'm personally disappointed.
You fucked
that
up.
I saw Infinity War the day after it
Wrong
came out
movie.
Honestly, we saw Blockers,
instead of Blockers.
and we need to talk about it because what
Alright.
happened was not okay. It was a movie that we both had a very good time in, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, I would not have enjoyed. I would say I would not have enjoyed it if I saw it by myself. But I had a real good time seeing it with my friend DJ. 'Cause there was a lot of bits throughout.
We
and
saw-
just
Oh
shit.
no!
what was that?
On my phone.
Jesus.
I just catapulted it.
We saw it late at night with one other like group in there,
Whoa.
and it's just it was
It's very surprising.
it was just a surreal movie where things just kind of happen,
Yeah.
and then that's just fine.
Yeah.
And, all right, so for example, the mom
I know exactly what
character,
you're talking about.
the mom character has a daughter. You know, one of the 3 daughters.
Should we talk about the plot of the movie?
Do we? Should we?
I mean, I think everybody knows, but just in case,
So,
you know.
all right. So
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
outside, what I think it is a movie about a bunch of girls who decide that they want to get laid, and then their parents try to stop them
That's pretty much
because they must control their women.
honestly, yeah, that's
Like,
pretty
it's
much
spot
it.
on.
Pretty.
It's
like,
a lot more mal-hearted than you would think, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was gonna be. All right, go ahead. I want to hear more of what you guys saw.
So the movie is very close to what you described, except the parents have no reason. You would think that they would give the parents a better reason for trying to stop this, but they just see like a text thread. They're like, "Well, it's time to stalk our children."
They're
now."
literally just like, sex? They're having sex? We
Yeah.
gotta stop them.
Unacceptable.
That's literally like, they just see that their
Mhm.
children are gonna have sex and they're like, nope.
There's not a thing about like they think the guy is gross or wrong or
That's-
like,
you know
Kind
what?
of,
STD or,
but not for the right reason.
That
They just
comes up later. Like,
Yeah.
we
Oh, that
talked
should've
about
been-
that a bit.
Yeah.
But well,
That's
it's not
that's-
really.
okay.
Yeah, it's so I'll just describe the characters we've got. We've got John Cena,
Mhm.
who's big dude bro man. Shorts
What
still
a
intact.
stretch for him.
I know. He's really
What an actor.
I really want him to be doing better so he doesn't have to be in WWE anymore. Just because he's taking up a lot of space. But this ain't the one. This ain't the one. It like he does well with what he's doing, but all of the adults, all the parents feel like they started off with strong character ideas, but then they don't change at all through the movie. Like they start off at like, oh, we're doing something weird and out of our comfort zone, and that's the craziest part of all. And then it just never evolves anywhere past that, except for the very, very end.
And it's weird because the dad played by I don't know the actor's name.
Oh,
but
very funny guy. I don't know him either.
yeah,
but
the not John Cena guy.
Yeah.
This trio is played off to be like some sleaze bag, but he's like arguably like has like the best and most redeemable characteristics of the three of them.
He legit, once they start freaking out, he's just like, yo guys, this is like weird, right? Like
It's
maybe
not
we
cool.
shouldn't be stalking our children.
But also
Maybe?
in the movie's defense,
What a
he
hero.
Yeah.
That's the hero that we deserve.
Honestly.
That's the hero we need. I didn't know that we needed that hero.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
how old are the daughters?
They're around like
They're
prom
going
16,
to prom,
17.
yeah.
Or 17, 18 probably.
17, 18, I would
All
think.
right. Now I don't want to see the movie.
No, you gotta though.
Oh,
We've
I
said
thought it
this.
was gonna be something totally different.
It's alright, so I'll say this.
Did the parents ever sound right? Are you on their side the whole
Oh,
time?
absolutely
No,
not.
here's the thing though. I was right with you. I did not want to see this movie at all because I thought that's what it was.
Mhm.
But the daughters have like their own story. Like half of the movie is surprisingly half of the movie is devoted to the daughters having like their own experience and their own little story.
And they are
That's
way
why
better.
I was
Yeah,
excited.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was excited because it was a movie where girls get to be as nasty as like
Mhm.
nasty, gross, bad comedy, bad punchlines, like
Yeah. It's there.
objectifying. Like they even though it's gross and it's not everyone's like favorite thing about movies. I just
Mhm.
like that there was a bit where like you got to stretch those muscles and you got to see what it was like to see like that kind of movie portrayed through women. I thought it was like a really cool stance to make. But
Mhm.
I guess what it really comes down to is who's the hero and who's the villain.
The hero. Is there a hero?
There isn't really. It's just they're
People doing things, I guess.
mean, the daughters. There's just they
Are they the antagonist or the protagonist?
No, they're fine.
They're fine. Yeah,
What they're doing is objectively fine.
It's not
So
painted
the-
in a bad light or anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good.
Well, because I'm on the same point as you were. I was like, seeing the trailers, like, this seems like an interesting movie. I'm very interested to see, like, oh, we're gonna have a sex comedy with girls as the lead, like, sex, like, drivers.
I'd love to see that explained.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to see that explored, and I'd
Yeah.
love to see like I'm about the idea of it
Well,
for sure.
honestly, if you edit out all the stuff with the parents, it's a fine, like, 40-minute movie.
We were talking about this after the movie too, where I thought that like 10 years ago, if this movie was made,
Mhm.
how it like would have ended is it would have turned out that like the guys they were trying to sleep with were like actually like major scumbags, and then the girls like are like, ew, I don't want to have sex with you. My
Yeah.
dad was right.
Yeah.
Having sex when you're young is wrong, and that's
Yeah.
how it would have ended.
Oh,
But it
thank
doesn't do
God.
that. Yeah, it does. It it paints it as
Whew.
like this
Good.
being like a
I
normal
was
thing.
sitting
God,
there-
I was almost a whore for a second.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
There's like
exactly.
shit like that where it's like, okay.
But it,
Yeah,
it surprised
well,
me.
Yeah.
But that is there's a lot of things about it that like as bad as you guys are talking about it, I think there is an easily recognizable moment of like where it could have gone that would have been so much better.
Oh yeah.
worse.
And to be fair, this is just a synopsis. This isn't what we have issues with.
Oh,
This isn't what we
What
have
do you guys
issues
have
with.
issues with? I'm
It's
curious.
things just weird shit just happens.
it's true.
Okay, so like, all right, so here's the scene. So you have the mom, who's an overprotective, overbearing mom to the blonde girl,
Mhm.
and
Uh-huh.
she's like orders a cake for their prom going away thing,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, she orders a cake. Mind you, this is the first time we've ever seen this cake, and the last time we will ever see it again in the movie. So she opens up this cake, and it's a picture of the three daughters,
But
they've
something's
got
amiss.
something's
You're like,
amiss
whoa.
in the sense that they have giant boobs.
All three of
And
them.
they're
Like,
like
they-
warts. It's
Yeah.
like someone took like
Like
a
Photoshop.
spiral like filter on
What?
Photoshop and just like turned them.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
you know what how this is addressed? What the fuck? This is horseshit. She puts cookies over the boobs on the cake, and then it's never touched on again.
And then the daughter comes in the room and it's like, oh, I guess I'll close this and put this away. We never talk
you don't
about
even
it
see
again.
them eat the cake.
Ever.
Aw, that's
Me and TJ I was literally like, I was on the verge of tears. I was like, what the fuck was that? We
What
and
the
TJ
fuck?
just looked at
That's
each other.
horseshit. Ugh. And like, there's another scene where they're like, the parents are literally trying to run the girls off the road, like in their car, and then like
fuck?
John
Oh,
Cena's
yeah.
daughter, like, it's like this shot was generally unnerving.
I'll kill my daughters before I let them have sex.
No. Well, but like, so the scene is like, all right, so we're like over the shoulder of John Cena in the car, right? And he's like trying to like do something out like the sunroof or something like that. Or I don't know. It's over the shoulder looking at the car in front of him.
Yeah.
John Cena's daughter comes up, like a silhouette of her just comes up.
the other guy's daughter.
Oh, okay. The other guy, the guy that's not John Cena's daughter.
Non-John Cena.
The non-John Cena. Comes up.
Claim to fame right there.
The non-Cena.
Non-Cena.
She comes up, throws up all over the car, and is like, okay, whatever. But then, like, she, like, gets back into the car like she's, like, a fucking puppet. Like, it's just like...
It made me think of, like, a scene from, like, The Ring, where there's just, like, a spooky ghost witch girl, and she's just, like, she, like, disappears like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really unnaturally fast.
Yeah.
It kind of spooked me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. There's also a scene where John Cena assaults a child to unconsciousness. And then they proceed to have a heartfelt moment after, while the guy's still, like... like the scene is like it's towards the end of the movie. You know, the girls they're about to have sex or whatever, doing their thing. John Cena comes in. He's bursting through like doors at this point. He's bursting through every door in the hotel room, and then you're like, oh, it's for laughs, ha ha ha. But then he's actually in the room with his daughter. He sees the guy, picks him up, literally throws him through the wall.
So is it like a 16-year-old guy?
Yeah, it's like her date to prom.
Yeah.
I was imagining like a 7-year-old when you said he beats up a kid.
Oh, that would be funny.
I was like, I don't know where that comes in or why, but I'm here for it. That's hilarious.
That would have been funny.
It was just insane because he breaks in. He's like, oh, and it's like a really intense close up of John Cena's face, pissed off, and he like charges this kid, picks him up, and puts him through a fucking table, and then he sits down. And is like, oh gosh, I haven't been the best dad as of recent.
Have you ever wondered if John Cena was your alcoholic stepdad? This movie will give you that.
Blockers.
DJ, hold on, we fucked up. We didn't put up
up
a spoiler warning for blockers.
Oh
this.
no!
You better edit something in before this.
I'll say that I will, but I probably won't.
Ooh.
But I will put spoilers in the title though.
From henceforth, this is a spoiler warning for blockers. Okay?
But Allie, do you still want to see blockers though?
Yeah, I still want to see it now.
Okay, but would you want it spoiled for you though?
I don't care.
Okay, all
Some
right.
people
let's
might.
Go. No, I'm saying for Allie specifically because I know she still wants to see it.
Fine.
I just wanted to ask if this was okay.
This
but
is for the
all right, continue.
I'm gonna tell you everything that happens in Infinity War.
I will literally fucking throw you out my apartment window. I will literally pick you up and throw
I have
you.
all the power right now. Like the amount that I could ruin your lives is amazing.
Honestly, I was driving through like Austin today, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get ready for the podcast. It's gonna be fun." I want to bring up blockers, but then I feel like it's not fair if Allie doesn't get to bring up Infinity War.
No, I'm gonna talk about
That's a
Infinity
good
War, but
point.
completely spoiler free. I figured it out.
Allie, I'm not kidding when I say this. This whole thing will fold.
I know.
I will delete everything.
There's gonna be no spoilers, but I've got a reason. So
I don't know what I'll do. I'll do something. I'll be mad.
Yeah, we're just gonna become a tornado, just run around the room so
Like
I
fast.
shouldn't have this power. I'm not a big enough of a MCU nerd to deserve to know what I know.
You only care about it a little bit, but spoil it for everybody else.
It's phenomenal how much I didn't give a shit while watching this movie, but still, like, me, the absolute novice, never picked up a comic book in my fucking life, was just sitting there going, oh, that's a plot hole. Oh, shit. Man, it was a little, it's a bit much.
I was talking to someone yesterday about it, and I'm like, I'm not going into Infinity War expecting, like, a well-crafted movie. No. I'm expecting to be like, oh, these are all the, like, interaction in the movie. Look at these people interacting.
There's a term that I've come to like, I heard while watching a review recently, where somebody was talking about A Quiet Place, for example, and they said, you gotta watch the movie with Gremlins goggles, where you just can't, you can acknowledge, like, the plot holes and things and the rules that, like, don't make sense or whatever, but like that shouldn't deter you from how well made this movie is. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if we're officially segueing, do you have anything else to say about blockers?
I had a real good time with it.
Chad's the man.
Chad, yeah, he's a good boy. There's a good.
And that, and there's that, and that's that. That's literally like they open on a scene and they're like in bed together. And he's like kissing this girl's forehead. He's like, mwah, mwah, mwah.
I want to talk about something DJ did.
And there's that. And that's just how it opens.
He's a good boy.
Oh no.
He's a good boy. He's a little fedora boy.
Boom.
Yeah.
He walks out with like some shorts. He comes out with like cargo shorts after they got changed, and he's like, "You can't tell me what I'm wearing isn't stylish."
I know it looks good or something like that. We also had like a good bit where we were talking about like, I'm like, DJ, this movie's gonna be bad. And he's like, no, it's gonna be good. And he's like, I'm like, how do you know though? He's like, 'cause I wrote it. I wrote this movie, Tyler. And I was like, well, what happens if it's bad? And you wrote it. He's like, oh no, I wrote all the good parts, and then you actually wrote this too.
Yeah.
So you wrote all the bad parts.
Well, that's true though.
So there's a part in a movie, I can't remember what joke it is.
This is a whole new level of fake news right here.
but
I wrote
Oh,
that.
I know. It was the butt chugging
and I was
scene.
like, oh yeah. And then, the butt checking scene comes up, and then
It's in the trailer.
it gets to a lull where there's just silence, and DJ just leans over to me, and he goes, you wrote that. You wrote that.
I also
I literally threw my hat because I was laughing so.
I think I also leaned over to you at a point where we found out it was in Illinois.
Oh, you're like, oh, you like it now. Now you like it because it's in Illinois. It's in Chicago.
What? Man, that makes me never want to write anything. You wrote that.
Oh, you wrote that.
Yeah, you wrote that one.
How to ruin someone.
But
And
it was-
seeing something not land in the theater and then going, that was you.
Oh, it's so much fun.
But yeah, go see it with friends. Maybe not by yourself, but it's a laugh and roaring good time if you see it with a good pal.
Get really drunk first. That makes every bad movie.
Yeah.
I love the one thing I'm liking about Austin lately is all the theaters with alcohol.
Yeah.
There's so many.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's almost harder to find a dry one now, you know?
Yeah, they didn't start popping up in Illinois until recently.
They realize that movies are a bad time, like a bad time length. I've never really super enjoyed. Welcome back to the third time that we've started this podcast.
It's not the third time. We're still in the same podcast.
It's
no
SoundCloud.
No. Yeah, we're still off SoundCloud, guys. Rose Nesbitt, we're coming back for you, baby, someday, somehow. But we just, mommy got lost at the market today, and she ain't gonna come back for a little bit.
Dad went out for cigarettes.
It's like not even Dad went out for cigarettes. Dad got lost in the Walmart to get cigarettes, and he doesn't know how to get back home.
You in the bike section the whole time running around the store trying. Dad,
it's like
Dad.
Have you seen that Vine of like that kid that like climbs on top of like the frozen food thing in Walmart, and he's like, "Mom, quit playing! Where the fuck are you?"
Quit playing. Quit playing. I was just saying,
like his mom's hiding from him. It's like,
stop acting like
you. Everybody gets like really distracted by the kid, but then you look back and she's hiding in the frozen pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess coming back. Tyler, do you have any topics for this week?
Wait.
What?
Infinity War.
Yeah, but you're gonna spoil it.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna spoil it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're right. We're gonna do this thing where it's gonna be spoiler free. God, when Thanos comes out, whips his dick and slaps everyone in the face with it. It's crazy. But like, I don't know if that happens or not. Who knows?
This is the second time that Infinity War has led to conversation about Thanos' dick for me this week, so just gonna put that out there.
How did that happen?
It's just how it comes up. It's like, you're like, what do you think it's pink or purple?
I'm gonna blame that both of them are happening because of
Cut
you.
that
We know for fact one of them are.
Hold on.
Yeah, this is one of them.
Pretty much. So, what I have to say about Infinity War, just as a start, like, when you're watching it, it does a really good job of showing each universe like as its own thing, and I think that's really, really cool. And then every single time that I was ever confronted with something like, why is that the way that it is? Anything that like someone nerdier than I would like throw a bitch fit about, right? Just like most of the time I ended up going like, oh, that's how they got around that loophole that they have because they're adapting a giant fucking comic book series into into a different shared, like, all these different movies into this movie. Like, that's how a lot of the tricks and things that I noticed that I thought were kind of like, oh, that's a little bit questionable, is like, I could not have thought of a better way to work around how many loopholes that they were working with.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see a compilation to someone out there with more editing skills than I do and more time than I do of just, where's this move from their original movie while they're doing what they're doing in Infinity War? Because there were a lot of times that, since there's no spoilers, I'm not going to talk about any of the specific people, but there was a bunch of times where you go like, can't that person do this thing? And that was a huge part of their personal movie, and a big part of their character is that they can do that thing. And now their main problem is, like, a lot of times there was a whole bunch of, like, you watching Infinity War, you almost wouldn't understand how any of them have standalone movies.
Because they have to work together.
Yeah.
So much.
And then also, keeping spoiler free, I feel like when you see, we all know Steve Rogers in it, so that's not a spoiler, right?
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
Are you cutting that out?
I'm gonna cut it out. I'm cutting
Really?
it, honestly.
He's in the poster.
Nah,
He's in the
it's
trailers,
it's
yeah.
a spoiler.
Okay.
It's absolutely a
Cutting
spoiler.
that out.
I'm gonna spoil you.
Oh, don't. Steve
Alright.
Rogers.
So, starting that sentence again.
I just realized this is a nice thing to say. I'm gonna spoil you and treat you nice.
Yeah, you
Okay,
better be
okay.
careful. I'm gonna
But
give you
anyway,
all the
So,
presents.
to start that one again, without
Yes.
spoilers,
Yes.
when you, sometimes when you see American involvement in it, and it looks a lot like on Archer when the CIA gets involved in anything.
Okay.
And it's really funny to me to think of that parallel.
Very interesting.
It's a lot of fun.
I think we're supposed to be seeing it tomorrow, and
I hope so. I'm gonna get tickets today.
All right, we'll have
I'm
a spoiler
so-
talk about it.
Yes.
But, like, honestly, I think the most important thing to think about is, like, how the fuck did those writers do that? Because I would have been...
Russo brothers, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
I would have been
I
stressed
couldn't imagine.
to death to
Yeah,
take that
exactly.
on.
And then, like, let's put all these people together. Also, if you fuck up, we're gonna be... Everyone's gonna be real big mad
If you
at
fuck
you.
up their 40 seconds of screen time, there's we know how many people saw their movies on Solo, so we know how many people are going to be personally offended by that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know... Listen, Allie, don't say anything. But I am pulling for my boy Howard the Duck in this movie to be a real big part of it. And I think... I'm going to close my eyes, and I just want to say what I have to say. Howard the Duck, I feel, is going to be the most important character in this movie.
I'm gonna block you out.
He's going to... I just got block out.
Putting up blockers. For
I'm
this
having
one.
such a good poker face, and nobody is here to recognize it because I'm not looking at it.
Howard the Duck is the key. And that's all I'm going to say. And if he's not, I'm going to... Alright. Ooh, let me tell you something. Ready Player One, Steven Spielberg's a goddamn coward. I'll tell you that right now. Because he didn't include the best franchise that he's ever made in any movie ever.
Gremlins.
No. Well, you don't... We'll get into Gremlins later. We're Back, a Dinosaur Story does not make a cameo at the fuck all in Ready Player One. And that's
straight
garbage.
off.
That is trash. That is trash. He owns it. He's in the movie.
Oh man,
he's
can't
animated
tell
in
you
the
how many
movie.
times I've been on VR chat or Second Life, and I've seen so many players playing as the dinosaur from We're Back, a Dinosaur Story.
I'm gonna spit on
so
your
many.
pillow.
It's a whole We're Back, a Dinosaur Story server. I think.
This had nothing to do with anything, but I just really need to get that off my chest.
Yeah, I understand because everybody knows what that is, including me. But just for anyone that might not know, could you possibly clarify for the random viewer that might not know
Allie,
what
please,
you're talking
everybody
about?
knows We're Back, a Dinosaur Story.
The amount of disrespect on this podcast is insane. The amount of absolute disrespect and disregard for my feelings is insane.
I intentionally spent 21 years not watching that movie to get you.
It's a long haul.
Is it a movie? Is it a video game? I'm just gonna fucking keep going, man.
So, We're Back, a Dinosaur Story is an American classic. Produced by Steven Spielberg, and I believe made by Don Bluth. American Treasures animator.
How do you
he is
spell
good,
it?
though.
Don Bluth?
No, the movie.
We're Back, a
We-
Dinosaur
you know, We're Back.
A Dinosaur
And then
Story.
a Dinosaur Story.
I feel like I've talked about this movie ad nauseum on many other things.
Well,
But it is a classic in the regard where it's like you got these dinosaurs, right?
Look up Rotten
And
Tomatoes real quick.
there's this time traveler old man that picks up these dinosaurs and it's just like, I'm gonna put you dinosaurs in a museum, but I'm gonna give you this food called brain game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
The tomato meters are 38% on this. Audience score is 49.
Damn, not even the audience.
It sounds. Ooh, DJ, I'm sorry.
What do you think of that? What do you feel? What's your feelings right
Oh,
now?
no.
Tomato meter doesn't lie.
Did you almost stop?
This is trash. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Trust level that happens in a podcast, and there's only one rule with podcasting: record it. You almost broke the one podcasting rule. You know what shit's out there? Anyway.
You broke my patience when you guys are
6.1
shitting.
on IMDb, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 3 out of 5 on Common Sense Media.
It's common sense.
Right.
Everyone in the comment section, which means me, Tyler, and Allie, discuss about how We're Back in Dinosaur Story is actually very important to American
I do remember
society.
watching it a lot.
Oh, now you remember watching it.
Yeah.
Now you remember.
I liked All Dogs Go to Heaven better though. Sorry, as far as that's Don Bluth too, I think.
I really just want to move on. This is
Speaking of
bullshit.
segues,
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Guys, I have some good news for you, though.
What?
But there's 2 ways to take this news.
Uh-oh.
It's been proven thanks to Hank Green. I have found out that it's been proven in a science journal that young people's bedtime cortisone levels are going up, which means those are like stress hormones that can cause acne, heart disease, aggression, depression, and anxiety, and they can affect your ability to stay focused and work, and you have a harder time making decisions. But it's been proven that it's like specifically affecting our age group, which means. It might not all be in my head, and I don't know if that's comforting or the most confusing thing I've heard in many years.
I would love to know what a cortisone is.
Cortisone
honestly.
levels?
It's like Spanish for heart, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's cortisone, and that's not. There's not a T in it.
That was a joke.
Damn it! I hate you.
That was very good.
cortisone-
That was very clever.
Cortisone.
You mad, bro?
Oh, I want to die.
No, but like I don't know. It's pretty cool to know that like science is even being science can even tell that
Well,
times is hard.
this generation is going through a lot, and not like a woe is me thing, but like we're a very transitional generation when it comes to like technology and like social things. Because I feel like a lot of social things are changing right now,
Yeah.
and we just don't know how to react. Just like It's been the same for years.
Name 3 things.
Name
that are
3.
changing.
Social media.
Okay.
News reliability.
News reliability.
This is him.
News reliability. And what the fuck is this? What? I don't have to answer. This is garbage.
It just puts you on blast. Puts you in
It's not even my story. I'm asking about.
Every time DJ mentions a movie, think back to this moment.
I just
when
don't.
you can't name 3 things that have,
Wow.
in a wide sense, changed. Right?
Wow.
That's what the topic was. Name something that's
Social.
changed.
Yeah.
This is your topic. Why are you?
I wanted to bring it up,
Why am
guys.
I being put off? This is 2 segments in a row that I've been absolutely crucified on this podcast.
Because it's funny, dude.
Because it's funny.
It's funny.
Aren't you having fun, DJ?
I'm having fun.
having
I'm having a
fun.
lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun over here. I'm just gonna turn that on.
All right, are you ready for the next bean?
I'm ready for the next topic for sure.
Oh, we talked about this. We talked about this not so long ago, but what if there was such thing as a werewolf that only worked in your head? So, like, at night you thought you turned into a wolf, but it was all in your head.
What? So
We
I'm
talked about
just
this,
dreaming?
right?
No, so I'm just
No.
dreaming.
No. Like, you literally turn into
That's-
a wolf.
That's
What?
called
In
a
your
crazy
head.
person, Allie.
Yeah.
That's a delusional man.
We were talking about this. Like, imagine a person trying to explain that.
Wait, explain to me what it is. Like, I go to sleep and I think I'm a wolf and then I wake
when the
up.
moon's out and stuff. Like, it lives by the same rules. Like, you turn into a wolf, except your body doesn't.
You're in your head. You turn into. I
Yeah.
think that's a real
You
thing.
become a wolf.
That's,
Oh,
I
it's a
feel like-
furry.
Yeah.
Oh, a furry.
It's like that, but,
Oh.
like, imagine if that actually, like, imagine that curse being put on someone that they literally, like, their brain turned into a wolf's brain, like, at the full moon or
Whoa.
whatever.
Wait, okay, so
we
wait.
talked about this last week.
I've forgotten, apparently.
Oh man.
Wait. So what you're telling me is that I don't physically turn into a wolf.
Yeah, you don't physically turn into a wolf.
But I've got the brain of a wolf.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how sad that would be?
Wow. That went to a whole new... Alright.
I feel like that was a real phenomenon that I read about, though, because I was like really into werewolves at like one point.
Yeah.
So like I read about something where I don't know if this was pre like Wolfman movie, like the OG like Universal Monsters thing. I don't know if this is pre or post Wolfman movie, but there was like a phenomenon where there were people that legitimately thought that they turned into a wolf at night, and they would go out and they would like find these people like attacking like small animals and stuff.
My God.
I just meant what a fucking curse that would be to ever explain to anyone for the rest of your life.
It's like we see when I go to sleep.
No, man, it's like totally serious, but I have to explain to you mentally I become a wolf. Like,
well, I mean, that's fair.
That would be a terrible curse to ever put onto a character. Like, you know, that would just be an awful thing to have to ever explain to someone. Because I would never, at no point would I ever believe someone who said that.
Wait, so if you were to sleepwalk per se, right? Like, would you act like a wolf?
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Oh, yeah.
That's very funny.
But it's full moon, not sleep. So if you stay up till 3 a.m. all the time, you're gonna turn into a wolf, man.
But not actually physically.
You're just not gonna. You're a dog. You don't understand why you're in a car. You don't understand where you are. Like,
I'd be terrified.
Dude, you turn into Benicio del Toro.
Got this human body.
Because he was in that Wolfman remake.
Oh, I was like, what?
Remember that?
Oh, I tried. Remember when they were trying to do that for a while? The Dark Universe. Or no, that was before Dark Universe.
Yeah, they just wanted to do a Wolfman remake.
Oh, that looked real
Benicio
bad.
del Toro was the Wolfman.
I will say, Universal, you guys tried with this Dark Universe, though. Got one movie and it was like, you know what, never mind. We don't want to do this anymore. They're like, that's okay.
Dude, that's like, did you ever see the movie I Am Number 4?
No, it looked like so bad.
My friends read the book, so I went to go see the movie with them when we were in, must have been 6th or 7th grade, like way too young to know that it was bad from the start. But we saw it, and there was so much ambition for that second movie. That was it was basically all a setup for like, and then in this second movie, all the things are gonna start. Now, all these things that we've made you care about that you knew were boring the whole time, not gonna be a part of the next movie probably because we got more characters doing like it went so far to explain this guy's, the one of them, like, number 4, like, the fourth dudes, right?
Yeah.
His backstory. And then they were like, all right, let's completely abandon that and move on with this sci-fi movie. It was almost 2 different movies, and it was the most upsetting movie to watch because nothing got resolved. Absolutely nothing in the whole movie.
Hey guys, can we make a good movie first?
They try and study for a next movie. It doesn't work out because the movie's bad, but then the people that actually cared about the movie don't get a resolution because it's like, sorry, we thought we'd do this better, but it's not getting
also not the best book of the series that I heard. The first one was not the best one.
Oh. Wait, they started with the second book?
No, they started with. I think it starts with I Am Number 4 as the first one.
Yeah.
Is the next one I Am Number 5?
Possibly, or 7. They like skip around, so it's like
so curveball for the third one.
It's like a series of 7 or 8 people, and like they're just. Listen, I'm not trying to defend this movie or say that it's smart or say that I paid attention to the rules. So if they're different, whatever. But literally, they just numbered kids and we're like, we're gonna kill you in this order, and then like dropped them off on Earth. I think with like a best friend.
That's nice.
Yeah, like a mentor, right? So like one of them is like living in the forest and that doesn't work out for him, and then another dude's like living in California, and then there's a chick who rides a motorcycle, and like I'm down for that, but at the same time, that was pretty much the coolest part about this, and so like. Yeah, it was like I'm number 4, and then it was going to skip to number 7. Because number 7 was in, I think that was the chick on the motorcycle. But it did not go in numerical order.
Oh, interesting. I do remember this coming out, now that you explained.
Yeah. I'm sorry I spent time on it. It was really boring.
It sounds like the most, like, YA novel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, the young adult, like... Yeah,
so does, like, The Maze Runner. That seems like the most YA...
I do like The Maze Runner, though.
I liked it, too.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying, I'm not
it is.
Trash on
but
it.
It is.
The book series did what most... like movies do, where it slowly, like I feel like he wrote Maze Runner and was like, "Ooh, what a cool idea!" And then at the end of it, they're gonna break out of the maze, and it's like, but you didn't think beyond that.
Yeah.
So every movie beyond that was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna introduce this and it's gonna work, and they're gonna love it, but it was never quite with the same, like, it obviously was something you thought of, not that came to you.
Yeah, but you know what about it, though, that I actually like the Maze Runner for, is that, like, even though it does that, each movie that I've seen, I've only seen the first one definitely, and then a little bit of the second one, it's like, each movie ends definitely.
Okay, well that's good.
Where it's like
they can just end it there if
they
wanted to.
Like it's a cliffhanger kinda, but it's just like, oh, the spoilers for Maze Runner, the first one. They got out of the maze.
Oh, wow.
And now they're off to do something else. But like you could we could just stop it here and it'd be fine. And like the characters feel fun, and like I just like Dylan O'Brien and I like his acting, and like everyone else. There's that one kid from Love Actually that looks like 12 that's actually like 32.
Okay. I really freaking like Thomas Brody Sangster, and I don't remember where I started, like what movie it was that made me start liking him, but like once he was on Game of Thrones, I've been such a fan of Thomas Brody Sangster.
He was on Game of Thrones?
Yeah, man.
Huh.
He played the brother that helps Bran out after spoilers for fucking Game of Thrones. Fucking jerks that haven't watched it. There's people out there. Yeah. There are actual humans out there who like to tell you not to spoil Game of Thrones. And dude, we're on the longest hiatus that anyone's ever doing.
Anyone that hasn't seen Game of Thrones can honestly just fucking shut their mouths.
The books have been out for so long. The TV shows have been out for even longer. If you haven't watched it, it's because you don't care about it and you deserve this. So when Bran leaves,
I haven't seen the middle part of the series.
Thomas Brody saying they're in a sister.
You're amazing. You watched the first season and the most recent season.
But it all makes sense, though. It all makes sense.
I doubt that.
No, it does.
So much of what's great about Game of Thrones is the characters that come out of the woodworks that you liked for like one reason, and you're like, oh, I like that girl because she's gay, and like, or something like that. And you're just like, oh, I'm here for that because of this reason, and that's fucking cool. And then it'll leave that alone for like a good while, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, remember this person? They have this now and they're coming for you. And it's like they become a threat. Anyone that you didn't consider could step up and become a major player in the next season.
But legitimately though, I was not confused at all watching the last season from just watching the first season.
Oh, I'm gonna quiz you later.
Okay, sure.
Anyway.
Game of Thrones.
Are you ready for the next bean?
I got a bean.
Oh.
I've got a big old... Oh, God, you tricked me into saying bean.
No,
I was going to blow past it, but I'm actually really happy.
I have a topic where I got a new phone, as we discussed in previous podcasts, which means I had to get a new podcast app, which I was not super thrilled about, but whatever. This new podcast app suggests, like, different little podcasts that things people like. I got suggested to me today, the InfoWars podcast with Alex Jones. And I was just like... Podcast app.
No.
What do you think of me?
No.
That you think I want to listen to Alex Jones?
No, they're getting paid by Alex Jones. That's fucked.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about
money.
it. I'm not. I'm not.
No,
DJ, you gotta stop listening to him.
I'm in the podcast.
That's
Guys,
no.
Times in history is it so obvious that someone is fucking evil and wrong and act on it. Like, fucking cowards out there who want to make a quick buck. Like, look at what you're promoting and ask yourself if it's making the world a better place, and if it's not, jump out of your fucking window, you prick. Because that's dumb.
Apparently, the Alex Jones thing, like the whole thing is like a character, but like it's one of those things where it's like, but you're actually doing things that affect real life.
Is it really a character?
Yeah, he said in like some court case that he was like, oh yeah, it was just a character. And like some people I used to work for, they're like, yeah, we used to share like a public access room with him, and he was like the nicest dude. Like he just talked about Star Wars. Okay, you don't have to.
Like, I don't know.
Just talk about Star Wars all the time.
That bothers me so, like, that bothers me on such a deep level that someone is so okay with the fact that they're taking advantage of stupider Americans because it's marketing and taking advantage of people with lower intelligence. If you look at their like statistics on who they're targeting and like who they're marketing towards, what they're marketing towards them, the things that they're saying that their products will do, like everything, when you like open it up just a little bit and look at the obvious business practices that are going on, it's like you could not make a more perfect villain in a TV show or movie that is this fucking evil. It's not great. There's very few excuses, I think, for people who make money off of that thing
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, oh God, you have to be a very specific type of ignorant to not know what you're doing with this.
For sure.
Oh, that's gross. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's no good.
Throw your phone out the window.
Throw my phone out the window.
Yeah,
It's
cool
always
phone.
solution.
Yeah, I remember. It keeps suggesting me right wing like things and like podcasts. I'm just like, what am I listening to that's making you suggest these things to me? I feel it's like when you go on YouTube and you like look up like a weird video one time, and then it shows up.
Video.
Yeah, and then it shows up in your suggested feed for like ever, and it's like, no, I didn't. It was one time.
I'm not like that.
That's not who I am, and it just feels like that. I feel hurt that it thinks that of me is all.
Yeah, I wonder what you're listening to that's triggering that.
Me too.
Wrestling?
I listen to wrestling and I listen to comedians.
It could
That's
be
all
like
I
a
listen
thing,
to.
like a related, like people that listen to this
You gotta
also
be
listen
careful
to this.
Yeah,
you have to be careful
maybe.
with comedians in wrestling because I feel like they attract a very wide audience. Not that it's any specific type of person. I would say that it just is such an open. Like everybody likes to laugh and everybody likes to love wrestling. Like wrestling's entertaining. That I think it's just because you're. What's a good metaphor for that?
It's like a Venn
Throw a
diagram.
wide net.
It's like a Venn diagram, and it's like the wrestling's the little crossy part.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
No offense, I feel like that wrestling draws in a lot of right wing people.
It used to, not as much as it does anymore.
What?
I feel it's well, I don't know.
I won't say that's good. Or people can think whatever they want, but
Oh yeah, no, it's wrestling's a confusing thing because the people that like the competitors and wrestlers nowadays feel very like one way, but the boss that watches over them definitely has another way of thinking.
Yeah,
which is fine, but it's like it's confusing because it tracks both. I'll say it tracks both. I don't know. I don't look at the demographics for it, but either way. I was mad that it's just me, Alex Jones. It's like, at least if I'm gonna be suggested someone, at least give me like a Crowder or something. Like give me someone of like intelligence of any sort. not just morality. It's like whatever, but like Alex Jones is objectively not that smart.
He's funny sometimes though. Just the bullshit that he says.
He just gets so red.
He goes on like rants about how like with tears in his eyes, like Hillary Clinton is a demon summoned forth by the globalists. She's a demon. Look at her eyes.
Honestly, this is bringing up my cortisone levels.
One positive thing Alex Jones has done, and I will say this. He has made me care more about the prequels for Star Wars. There's a video of him explaining like
it truly is
he's a huge Star Wars fan, and he like explains the prequels in a way that's actually interesting. And it's like, oh my god, Alex Jones, thank you for making me care.
Have you ever seen the YouTube videos called "What If the Prequels Were Good"?
Yes,
that's the one that turned me. Cause I was like, I like watching those videos and then watching 4, 5, 6. And then being like, yeah, this is Star Wars. Fuck everyone else. I don't even care. Those YouTube videos.
See, we're coming back full circle from the first podcast where we just talked about the prequels.
Yeah.
But the prequels had so much potential. And they just like, there's a lot of good stuff in the prequels that they just didn't capitalize.
I feel like if you watch Red Letter Media's like Mr. Plinkett videos on the prequels, you will just have nothing but sadness for the prequels. Like, because they're such like diehard, like, there's some like the most diehard like Star Wars fans because they're just super in the film and media, and part of that was spawned by Star Wars. And they just have a whole like series. Each one's like maybe 1 or 2 hours long, talking about the prequels and just going like, telling where it went wrong or like where a lot of opportunity was lost, and it's just like, damn,
it's the potential. Just thrown right in the trash.
I don't think I could ever look at those movies in the right light after watching those videos.
It's no good. But we're coming to a close. We have a final topic.
Yeah, I have so many things though.
Okay.
One of the things is recent news.
Recent news.
For when
ding,
we
ding, ding,
recorded
ding,
this.
ding, 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 ding.
Yep. The Golden State Killer was caught.
Oh I saw that.
I would like to point out again. I have never pointed this out before, but I'd like to point out that this guy was a cop.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so that means that I would just like to take this moment to suggest to my fellow Americans and my fellow human beings.
I'm so scared about what you're about to say.
If someone walks up to a place of business and asks for a badge and a gun because they would like to exact justice, put their DNA in a system that maybe could find them if someone gets hurt. Because if their idea of justice ever goes anywhere beyond what lines up with specifically American culture, they could do some bad shit and get away with it because they have that ability to have the badge. And like, pretty much most of the reason they never caught this guy is because he could use his cop excuse on almost anything, you know? And he could say, like, I'm a cop, what's wrong? Where's this person? Or, like, don't worry, I'm taking care of it, I'm a cop. Like, there's just so much about being a cop that makes it easier for you to do crime that you should automatically, you should have every cop's DNA in a system somewhere.
I feel like...
Just, like, if it's been 6 years and you haven't found someone, maybe run it through that system.
Right.
I feel like part of that too is like the Dexter thing, where it's like not necessarily that it's more like they know how to avoid leaving tells that they did it, you know, or they know at least how to clean it up.
Yeah, that was the big thing with this
system.
case, is this guy took something from every single murder, and he was known to take trophies from a murder and then leave it at the next house because they didn't have DNA back then. So they had so much DNA to test, but no one to test it on. They had so much evidence. They just didn't have, and like, one of the things, like, this was the Golden State Killer, and it was also the East Area Rapist. Once again, I'd like to point out, rape gets escalated to murder. Like, we should stop not taking rape seriously, because people who are disgusting enough to ever do that should be forced to get help for that, and not just go to prison and then get out in 4 months. That's not good enough. They're going to become killers, and they're going to hurt people, and we're letting them. But anyway, he was the East Area Rapist first, and then he went on to being a murderer. And one of the things that he would do was he would break into people's houses, tie up the husband upstairs, take the wife downstairs, rape her, and then, like, you could hear throughout the house, right? That was the big torture about it, was that the husband could hear what was happening to the wife, and then he would leave them or kill the wife, you know? So, there was a town hall meeting, and at this town hall meeting, someone stood up and said, that's fucking bullshit. What kind of a man lets his wife get raped inside his own house while he's there? And then it was something like 2 years later, to where it could have been a coincidence that this guy spoke up at the town meeting, but maybe it wasn't. That guy, it happened to him. Yeah. And guess what? He couldn't do fucking shit because he was tied up, because that's how this shit works. So...
wasn't it also a thing, real quick, that, like, you would, like, put, like, shit on the husbands or whatever? It's like, if I hear one of these things drop or something like that.
Yeah, you know, when you get into the nitty-gritty details, there was something like that. Like, if I hear this drop, it's yeah. Yeah. So, but... just an added reason why. Yeah, but there was a big theory that he was in that picture. Yeah. So there was all these people on Reddit and everywhere, like, going through that photo and saying it could be this guy, but, like, there were so many people in that photo. Right. They found the guy in that photo, but the thing is, you would have, like, it was impossible to ever guess that it was him, but he was fucking there. Yeah. So, like, this is the nail in the guy's coffin. I'm so sorry if I end up, like, if this comes out wrong and this poor guy's life is ruined forever, but whatever, he's old, so who cares? But I'm just saying, if this guy is legitimately the Golden State Killer, like, he was just breezing through society. You know? Yeah. That's the creepiest part, is this guy was a cop. So the other thing is this, that everybody pointed out, where most of the survivors of his rapes and different stuff like that would point out that he smelled super bad. Or he smelled very weird. You couldn't quite place what he smelled like, but it was strong. The cop that he was, this guy, when he was a cop, he got fired because he got caught shoplifting dog repellent and, like, a hammer. So they said, you can go plead your case because it's only shoplifting and remain a cop, you're going to be on trial this. And he was like, no, thank you. I would rather just resign. Or I would rather just be fired. So he never went under investigation. If he had gone under investigation, they would have gotten his DNA. They would have been able to fucking nail this guy. But he was allowed to say, I would just rather not be a cop than you guys investigate me. Right. Yeah. And they were all like, I understand. That's normal cop behavior. Go about your life, mister. Yeah, so he did. Like, that's what just gets me, is, like, the fact that this guy was so above being... for, like, because he was white, because he was a man, because he was a cop, because he was in America, because he did any number of these small things, he went completely ignored by like any investigate. Like so many people must have gotten weird vibes from this guy that they just like he got past so many things that he thought he was untouchable, and it almost like looking back, you're like, damn, did you have a lucky rabbit's foot or something? I just don't know how he got so many opportunities to get so close to getting caught and just nothing, dude.
So we gotta get better about that. We gotta get better about our justice system, everybody.
We got him.
So that was cool.
You got one more bean, maybe?
Yeah.
A lighter bean.
Lighter roast bean.
This has been a very interesting podcast.
Yeah.
We've covered many topics today.
I thought about this one because I thought it would be a really cool thing that someone needs to invent. Transition lens contacts.
Wait, what?
At first I was like, I really hate sometimes when I don't put contacts in and I wear glasses. I hate that I can't wear sunglasses with them.
Okay.
You know, but then I also hate when I'm wearing contacts and I don't have sunglasses because it hurts. Like the sun, like when I don't know, like with my contacts, I guess the prescription on it makes it. I feel like it's brighter. Like,
okay.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because I can see clearly. And like, whoa. But
I have no idea, so.
Who knows? So, I thought it'd be really cool if someone made transition lens contacts, but then 2 seconds later, I realized that would mean your eyes turn black.
I was gonna say.
But how cool would that be?
Just walking around looking directly at the sun, just like black eyes.
Imagine you're just having a conversation with someone as you're like walking and talking, going to the parking lot, and then they just look over at you.
I would absolutely never be friends with that person. I could not.
That's like a scene from like an Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
Some poor old lady is gonna be sitting near you at like a Starbucks. She's gonna look over at you, and you're gonna like do that thing where you make eye contact for a second, and then they're gonna adjust
black
and turn
pits.
black, and she's gonna
oh god,
you have a heart attack thinking you're a devil.
Immediately.
I like the idea of you blinking and it turns too.
Yeah,
just like
that's cool.
Dude, have you ever seen Push?
Push.
That was one of the first things I ever saw. The Chris, the Chris.
Oh, the one.
American.
Oh, not the racing one.
The racing one. No,
yeah, the one with Hemsworth.
It was kind of a drug movie.
Oh yeah, no, I've not
Push
seen
it
it.
real good.
It was a sci-fi movie about like different people who like it was like very specific superpowers that people had, so you could be like one of 5 things.
Oh, I think I remember this.
So like
vaguely.
Who did
remember
it
coming
have?
out.
They had Dakota Fanning and Chris Evans, and that's who I knew it from.
Oh, yeah. I remember this movie coming out for
so
sure.
One of the superpowers that you could have was the ability to control someone's mind, and you would be able to tell someone was controlling your mind because their pupils would shake and then get bigger. And when their pupils were bigger, they had better control over your mind. So one of the best mind controllers could make his pupils go outside of his irises into the white parts of his eyes, and it would be like and it would like go across his eye, you know, and it'd be really, really creepy because then you would see someone like eat a bullet or like jump out of a window because he could control their minds into them killing themselves.
I totally saw a scene from this at one point. Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool if someone could do that.
Just so intense.
Control their pupils.
Just imagine if someone looked at you and then made their pupils consume their eyes. Like that's a power move, right?
I get like upset when I talk to people with sunglasses on because I can't see their eyes.
Yeah.
And it just like I couldn't imagine.
I appreciate it because I like when someone puts their sunglasses on because it's like I don't have to look at you. I don't have to like because when someone's not looking at you, you don't have to make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're wearing the sunglasses, I feel like if I'm not wearing sunglasses and I'm talking to someone with sunglasses on, I'm having a trouble. Like I'm trying to look them in the eye, but I can't find it, and it's like a snake where it's like you.
Or it feels like they're looking at, for whatever reason, whenever I run into someone with sunglasses, I feel like they're just like looking directly into my eyes and I'm not noticing.
I just walk up because I'm like, I don't know where they're looking. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, alright, here's the thing. If we're both wearing sunglasses, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
True. But
let's just all wear
I feel
sunglasses.
Like if someone's looking at you and looking at your face and making eye contact while they're talking to you,
yes,
it's impolite to be looking somewhere else while they're looking at you, right?
Right.
But if someone is like kind of talking to you while looking around, I'm acting all of this out for the podcast.
That's very helpful.
So if someone's kind of like looking around while they're talking to you, maybe looking out the window to like gather their thoughts, you know, doing that thing, you also have the freedom to do that, you know?
True.
So it's like that. But if someone puts on sunglasses,
Mm-hmm.
there's now a disconnect towards like, I don't have to look you in the eyes. I don't have to look you in the face. I can just walk next to you because you have sunglasses on and you're not trying, you know? So I therefore don't have to try either. You can look at me if you want to, but I'm no longer socially required to look at you back because I can't see your fucking eyes.
That's
you know?
true.
Yeah.
I feel the person with the sunglasses has everything to gain and nothing to lose.
A little bit.
And that's fine.
It's a weird unspoken social contract between sunglasses.
Hey, they spent the $3 at 7-Eleven, you know?
Let's just all get sunglasses and never look each other in the eye again.
If anybody buys their sunglasses for more than $15, they're a fucking idiot, in my opinion.
I was a fucking idiot and I lost it. I bought some sunglasses for like $50 and I lost them. On like
they last longer though.
Yeah,
If
they're
true.
cheaper, they last for fucking ever. If you spend $300 on them, you drop them.
No, I've had the opposite experience.
What, really?
Yeah, I bought like, $5 sunglasses, and one time they broke within like 3 days, another time they broke like after 2 weeks. My uncle has had the same pair of like $150 sunglasses for like 8 years.
You're responsible, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't, because my other thing is I can't be bothered to care about sunglasses. There are too many more important things in life.
I couldn't justify spending that much on sunglasses either.
But also to be like doing something fun where you, because what do you wear sunglasses to? You know, you're out in the sun, you're out doing things. That's when dangerous stuff happens. You know?
Yeah.
So like, you know, you go to an amusement park or something, you leave it on the ride, and then if they cost $300, you have to throw a fucking fit. But if they cost you like $3 at 7-Eleven, you're like, hey, can we drop by the gas station on the way home? I need more sunglasses, and I don't care because it always costs $3. You know?
Yeah, they're like a disposable thing.
And if it gets a scratch on it, it's whatever. I'll get another pair. They're $3.
I'll just pop the lenses out for fun too.
Yeah.
Just pop one out.
Yeah, man. And then, you know, you can do whatever. It's not a big deal. But then once you start spending money, then it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You gotta be responsible.
Yeah.
You gotta grow up, which I don't do.
I saw a pair of Gucci sunglasses that were like $400.
Gucci sunglasses for $400?
I swear to God, yeah. $400.
That's
They were rad looking though, I'll say that.
I feel like people that have that money just need to spend it.
Like
they just,
absolutely.
it's like, I have too much money, I need to spend $400 on sunglasses
If
right
you have
now.
that problem, email us at technically.
Yeah.
Yo, if you want to throw your money away, come to Technically.
We'll name a main character in a show after you.
Absolutely, they're the worst character.
Yeah.
They're a
And then
deplorable
if you
character.
ever stop donating, we'll kill the character off in like the most embarrassing way. Like they'll trip. They'll step on a rake, it'll hit them in the head, and then they'll die of a heart attack when they see the rake coming towards them. So, like, the injury wouldn't have killed them, but they're freaking out and pulling out of that situation.
Just the idea of them being like,
oh
no!
They're such a weak-willed character that the fear killed them.
Yeah.
That's such a fast heart attack, too. It's just like, just dies off.
Right, your heart was waiting for the excuse. It's like, oh, there it is. There's my out.
Speaking of sponsorships, hey Squarespace, we're looking at making a website.
Hey.
And we're not gonna use you unless you sponsor us.
Why?
Broke.
I don't feel you get to handle the sponsors anymore because all your sponsors things have just been like weird, like hostage like situations.
No, I think that's how we should move on as a race.
As a human
race, as a species, we should move on to I control the sponsorships. I'm in charge of you. This is hardball. We're gonna be nice to you, Squarespace, for a whole 2 weeks, and then we're gonna start shitting on Squarespace.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you on about? What are you talking about?
Oh, that's not. I see what she's saying. That's not a bad idea. Like, imagine you're some big like person. You know, you have 500,000 viewers like a day or whatever, and it's like, all right, check this out. Starbucks, send me $2,000 in unmarked bills in 2 weeks, or
in Starbucks gift cards,
or 500,000 people are gonna hear tons of shit about how your coffee sucks. I found a whole mouse in my cup of coffee one time.
Mouse.
How about that?
No, I totally stole this bit from Harmontown though, so I'm gonna admit it real quick. But they started doing this in the beginning of Harmontown by doing Adidas and Nike.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, man, I'm wearing these new shoes, it's Adidas, whatever, and someone was like, hey, don't say that until we get our sponsorship. And he's like, I'll play it nice. Nike, this could be what it's like. These shoes are so comfortable and shock absorbent, and nothing like it was Adidas shoes, right? Yeah. He had Adidas shoes, so he was like, these are so comfortable. So unlike Nike, the devil's apple of shoes. Everybody knows Nazis use Nike.
Oh my god!
Bar.
Oh my lord!
I'm pretty tame right now, I feel like, compared to what it could be.
I mean,
True.
yeah,
That's fair,
true.
For now.
But we also didn't make Community. I don't think we've got the clout yet to be throwing hostage situations. Is all.
Listen, man. Cortisone levels are up. Everything's on the table now.
Mercury's in retrograde.
It's always in retrograde. Ever since I was born, it's been in retrograde. Why is that? I was talking to Mary yesterday about that. It's like, if Mercury's always been in retrograde, why are we acting weird about it? Isn't that just normal then? Isn't that just life if it's always in retrograde?
See, now you're getting used to it.
It's because there's one day of the
You're
year
startling.
where it's not in retrograde, and that's the day you gotta watch the fuck out. You don't know when it's coming, you don't know what day it's gonna be, but that's when the shit happens.
Things get way too normal, way too fast.
Yeah. It's like the Purge. It happens one day a year, but there's some shit that goes down on that day.
That is a franchise that just will not go away, huh? They've been
Purge?
they're making another one this year's coming out. They've been coming out like every year consistently. And they're not like
Good for them.
terrible movies.
The idea is cool.
Yeah, the idea is cool, but they like do it to death, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are really.
I never watched
keeping
one, so
up.
I can't say.
They're okay.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
hate
fine.
them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I like those movies.
Well, there we
Check
are.
them out sometime.
Oh, I guess I'm not gonna shit on your movie that you like.
Oh,
I'm not gonna shit on the movie that you like. That means that you
Dude.
should do that to me with We're Back at Dinosaur
No, that's
Stories.
not
on.
how
alright.
works.
So here's the thing.
That feels
I
like a lifetime ago on this podcast.
I don't ever want to talk about that again. Anyway.
Fuck you!
I
Fuck you!
Alright.
I never want to talk about it again.
it. I'm just saying it's over.
Just saying it's garbage is all.
Alright. So here's the thing, though. I like TV shows and books. And the thing about TV shows and books is TV shows tend to go on too long if they're ever making money, which means they slowly get ruined. Liking a TV show and then watching it become bad is already so painful that if someone criticizes a TV show that I like, I'm like, yeah.
Dexter.
I don't really stand behind it. Oh my gosh. I watched the first episode of Dexter and then like the season finale of season like 6 and I was still unimpressed.
It gets bad.
I didn't like it too much. But anyway, and then with books, almost no one has also read the same books that you have, so you almost can't talk to anyone about it. They can also go on for far too long, or they can be adapted into awful movies and TV shows that the worst human beings on the earth like because they like the trashiest shit.
Whoa.
And then they take over your entire fandom. I'm just saying, man, you can't make fun of anything that I have because I'm so like I don't care anymore. I don't care if people don't like what I like.
I've got nothing left.
Yeah, man. Until you've seen what happened to the Mortal Instruments happen to something that you love.
Oh,
I
I'm so
remember.
sorry
You will know where
about
I'm at,
that.
man.
I'm so sorry for your
I
loss.
used to go into Hastings for fun and find the movie for the Mortal Instruments and hide it so no one accidentally bought it. Because I didn't want them to think that that's what that universe was. That's how bad it was. But yeah.
I remember when Dragon Ball Evolution came out, I looked at my Google history like just from a while ago, and apparently I looked up the director's address. I felt that strongly about it. I was so
What were you gonna
mad.
do?
I don't know. That's what scares me the most. Is that
DJ.
I used to have like my parents found like this list from when I was a child of just like different kids' names like on this list that I had, and I don't know what it meant, but I was scared of past me a lot of the times. I do a lot of things that concern me.
Alright, everyone who's listening to this, just keep that in the back of your mind. From now until forever.
I'm just saying, watch We're Back at Dinosaur Story and it all makes sense.
Alright. And somebody put DJ's DNA in some kind of system just for future. I'm just saying.
Fun?
We caught the Golden State Killer this way, and I think we should all contribute.
I'm resigning from the podcast. I choose to resign.
Oh man. You made a I'm sorry, I'm still on this.
What?
Did you not read and go, what do all these names have in common?
No. Well, I did, but
Are they
it was.
kids you hated or kids you
Oh,
liked?
they're not kids I liked for sure.
Literally, that is so scary.
I was like, I think I was like 9. I was like 8 or 9. People fucked with me a lot, man. I didn't like it.
Were you like the kid that got the yearbook and you like X'd out the names and stuff?
In class.
Yeah, the red pen. Red pen specifically.
No, I left
devil
my...
horns on them like in those Disney movies.
I didn't do much to my yearbooks.
Dinosaur horns.
Devil horns.
Dinosaur horns.
Did I say dinosaur?
No, you probably said devil. I like the idea of dinosaur horns, though, because it's not a not thing.
Yeah.
Some dinosaurs do have horns.
It would be like the Triceratops where they have the horns that just go like a mohawk.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That'd be a great yearbook find, you know? If you found them, it's like, oh, you turned me into a Triceratops.
That's my favorite.
I'm a little iguanodon.
Iguanodon.
Wow.
I'm a little Pachycephalosaurus.
I'm a little baby boy. The Meg.
The Meg.
The Meg is coming out, everybody. And we all need to be aware of it. Have you seen the Meg?
The Megalodon? We talked about this.
Did we talk about the Meg?
Yeah, I was alright, so...
The movie.
Yeah,
The
last
Meg.
podcast.
Did we?
Yeah,
did.
so I chipped
Good.
in on that.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Well, that's your
Because it
opinion.
was- it's so fucking vague.
It's not fake. I'm just gonna say.
Such a waste of time to even spend time thinking about it, guys.
The Leviathan's fake. That's been debunked. But
The
the
what?
Megalodon, there's lots of evidence.
The
on it.
Leviathan?
But
Yeah.
the idea that it's alive now.
Oh no. Yeah. That's
Thank you.
What?
dead.
Because there was a whole Animal Planet special, and I was 11 when I
Uh-huh.
watched it. Because it
Yeah.
was like a 2.5 hour special on the Megalodon. It was part of Shark Week, and I
Yeah.
was so psyched for it.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, we're going to learn about what's out there. They spend the whole time explaining what it is,
Uh-huh.
what minimal evidence there was that it even existed in the first place. Because they're like, we found a few bones, we think that, with a few teeth and different things like that, we think
Yeah.
it existed. Blah, 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 blah. And then they start talking about how it might exist now, and then these scientists go out on a boat with trackers, and they're like,
Think
we're
they're
gonna
gonna
find the
find it?
Megalodon.
Oh,
But the whole
God.
time I was like, how the fuck did anyone pay for a boat on this squad? Because these guys didn't do a whole lot of definitive research to even get there. At 11, I thought this, by the way. I watched a lot of Animal Planet, and I was like,
good.
these guys don't know what they're talking about. But, and then at the
Not
end
like
of
me,
it,
an
they
11-year-old.
were like, well, we didn't find any strong evidence that would point to the existence of the Megalodon now, but we're still hopeful. And then it ended the documentary.
There
That's how they all go. I
I-
watched one of those.
There's
too.
way
Just
too
the
many
same
that
shit.
go- like
it was
that.
a waste of time, and that's why I'm trying to warn everyone
Uh-huh.
that this is also.
I
could-
specifically.
I could see this being a huge waste of time as well. But yeah.
I was gonna say, I specifically remember watching one of those as a kid too, and I just remember like saying to myself in my smarmy little kid voice, "Spoiler alert! They don't find it," and then
Yep.
they did.
Yeah, I love that.
Uh-oh.
okay. I
You
thought
better
you-
guess what? It doesn't exist. So shut your mouths, go cry to your dad.
I thought you were saying that it never existed in the first place, so I was like,
What?
You're crying to your dad.
Yeah, cry to your
Dad,
dad.
the Megalodon is real.
DJ, what would your dad say if you went to him and cried?
Tears in my eyes.
Right.
CGI tears in my eyes.
Yeah, CGI.
Also, that's another thing in Blockers that they have weird CGI moments where
Oh.
there's a part at the end of the movie where the mom's supposed to be crying, but they CGI tears on it.
Yeah.
It's like so many CGI tears. It's so
bad.
upsetting.
She couldn't do
Oh,
it.
no.
They also
And they
like
CGI like vape smoke too.
Yeah.
I swear.
it's so weird.
Yeah.
My dad would say
What would your dad say about the Megalodon?
he'd be like, "Well, that's what they called me in high school." All right, guys, that's the end of the TH podcast this week. I'd like to say thank you for listening. If you're still here, you're a real one right here.
Yeah.
Also, I hope that no one got scared from the podcast after realizing that not every thing on the channel is going to be social exchange. Because this is like, I feel like if social exchange is like the classy part of the channel,
Mhm.
we are the degenerates.
Yeah, we're just technically human. We're
Yeah.
just trying to point out, guys, we're human. We make mistakes.
Technically.
We say spoilers that need to get bleeped out.
Yeah.
We were in, this was a podcast.
This
We
was
did
a-
it. This
I-
was one for the books.
If you ask me anything that happened in this podcast, I do not remember.
I'm gonna immediately forget this. I'm gonna read the comments.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, anyone who is listening. You're awesome.
Bang, bang.
and-
Tyler, thanks for coming on.
Thanks
by
for
the way.
having me.
Yeah. Oh God. This is.
Oh.
And that's how we're ending. Everybody have
Tyler,
a
hit the
good
microphone,
week.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.